Hello, everybody. Oh, shaking is too much. I'm waiting for Emmanuel to join us. It's been a long time, several weeks. How you doing, Emmanuel?
Hey, how you doing, Pete? What's going
Good,
on?
good. How are you? Hold on, I'm trying to
Okay, yeah, sure.
technical this here. All right, there we go. How's that?
Yeah, you look pretty clear. I'm a little, I don't know what's happening here.
You're a
I'm a
little,
little,
looks like the lens is dirty.
wait a minute. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me reconnect, okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure, no
Give
problem.
me a minute.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, no problem. All right, folks, we're doing a little bit of cleanup here, but other than that, it's 2021. Start off new. I feel like I gained, the camera adds 10 pounds here, or maybe it's the beard. I don't know. Um, let me see. We got him, and let's get him in. It's, he's going to come in soon. Emmanuel, the man who picks all these wines, by the way. Oh, I don't. Oh, I don't like how this shakes. Sorry about that, folks. All right, let's get that in. All right, so where is he? There he is. Let's get him in.
Hmm.
That looks about the same. That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. It's hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It looks fuzzy.
Yeah,
I don't know what. Hold on. Hold
that's
on
all
one
right.
second.
Take your time.
I don't know. It's still like a little fuzzy.
All right. Well, we're just gonna the show goes on, I guess. Is probably
Yeah.
the right word with all this. Well, Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Good to see you, my friend. Same to you.
Yes, it's been a while. You got some interesting wines this week. I'm very fascinated. I'm very curious about what we're gonna try here. Um,
Oh, good.
anyway,
Oh,
all
good.
right. Well, I'm gonna get started.
Yes,
Thanks
move.
everyone for joining. This is Wine and Three. I am Pete, founder of Great American Nosh and other Nosh entities, where we live by the mantra of eat, drink, savor, where everything is a little bit more than just eating and drinking every day. It's about savoring things. And part of our programming is wine education. And with me is Emmanuel Montevecchi. He is my wine guy at Total Wine in Danvers. And every episode, he picks two wines for us to try. And one of our underlying themes is that we always try to pick some, not your typical in the middle of the road wines. We always try to find wines that are sub $25 a bottle. And we also try to find wines from various different regions that aren't as well known or, misunderstood is probably the right word. And we focus on three topics really, which is the grape, the region, the winemaker, and obviously we focus on other things and we geek out as much as we can. And this is a wine talk, so we're gonna do a little bit of wine snobbery here. But so I'm gonna jump right into this, and I know I'm gonna go right to Emmanuel. He picked two wines today. One is from Portugal, and this is the Ruelas Reserva. It's a red blend. And then here's another interesting one. But this is from Cremel Rekash in Romania. And that's the name of the grape, by the way. That's the Tasca Negra. or Negra, yeah, Negra.
Yeah, Negra. Yeah.
Negra, yeah. My Romanian is bad. So it's,
Yeah, it's yeah, it's not one of those commonly used languages, I imagine, So
no, it's not.
that's why.
So I'm just going to poke in a little bit on Romania. So here's my little
Oh, nice. You
map.
got a map there. Perfect.
I got a map, and I got the circle on the region, the Banat wine region. That is in western Romania, near the border of Hungary and Serbia. And this is actually a really cool photo of their winery. And that is in the town, I believe. Where is it? I don't have the name of the town. Well, that's all right. We don't have the
That's
name
all
of the
right.
town. We know it's in the Rekash County, I guess they call it, or the region. And the other wine is from Portugal, and I have more of a formal map. But so if you can see that wine and the arrows to the Lisbon or Lisboa wine region, from where Ruelas is sourced from. They have other sources for their wines, but I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to ask Manuel to talk a little bit more about the wines he picked and why he picked these. So we can talk more about these wineries and obviously the wines themselves. So I'll let the floor to you, Emmanuel.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So I chose the wines basically because they're kind of wines that are not really obviously recognizable to a lot of people as far
Mm-hmm.
as specifically Romania. The wine is, Transylvania area, and it's kind of caught on probably in the last
Mm-hmm.
year. We only carry these wines from Rekash.
Mm-hmm.
We only carry these Romanian wines. We do not have any other Romanian wines, but we do have like about we have a couple of cabs from them, and then we have a couple of blends, and then some whites. So about 5 or 6 wines.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Okay. So you have a
yeah,
lot. Yeah, that's a lot. All right.
right, from the same producer though. That's the thing. Right. So that's right. Um,
Yeah.
so
All
you can
right.
kind of compare and you can kind of you know they kind of have they kind of take over in that respect. There's not a lot of
Yeah.
comparisons to other vineyards or what have you. They've kind of caught on though a little bit with
Mm-hmm.
some people. People have been asking for them. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, for the last several months. The piece
Yep.
being though, it's typically a lot of Romanian people. So it's one of those wines, that um, people may have grown up with. It's a cultural
Yeah.
wine, I imagine.
Mm.
I don't really know a lot about it. I've had some of the let's see, I had the Pinot Noir about a year and a half ago, and I enjoyed it. And once again, here, with yourself, Great American Nosh, we do low price point and try to hit that quality. So the wines coming out of Romania are known to be some quality wines as of late in the last
Yeah.
year or so. But they're still not out there prolific in the wine industry. The other
Yeah.
wine from Portugal is
Yep.
brand new. In
All
fact,
right.
there it is.
Yep.
Rulas. I know a little bit more about Portuguese wines.
Mm-hmm.
There's some similarity to Spanish wines, which
Yep.
that I have a big affinity towards.
Sure. Yeah.
The thing with this Portuguese wine, it's a Reserva. Once again, low cost. I heard
Mm-hmm.
quality on this one. I haven't tried it. It just came in. It just came in 3 weeks ago. So you and I have the only two
All
in
right.
stock
All right.
within my particular store. So some of the
Got it.
other stores, have some more stock on it. But I thought it'd be
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool to have a couple of
Let's
wines that
break
are
let's
really,
break some new ground, right? Why
yeah,
not? I mean, this
yeah,
is what this is
especially,
all about.
yeah.
Um, and so a little research on. I'm going to start with the Rulas. Um,
Ooh, that's okay.
they are from Para Wines. It was started by Luis Vieira in 2010, I think when he was 38 years old. His initial love affair with wine started when he was 5 years old, and he fell into a vat of wine. And
That's right.
an employee had to like save his life, and apparently that employee still works at the winery. Or that was the grandson of the, I don't
Good.
know. It was,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. It's now the grandson of the employee, I guess, is working there, which is kind of fascinating. And they've been kind of on a what we call a roll-up strategy in the corporate world, but really on an acquisition binge, all mostly across Portugal. And they have operations all across the country. They did a rebrand in 2016. They have 21 brands or labels, 7 regions at least, and that's all I can really find on this winery. It was kind of skimpy in terms of information. The one that was fascinating, obviously, I'm going to jump to the Romanian one. This is from the winery Cremel Recaș. It was founded in 1998 by a Brit, believe it or not, Philip Cox. And this is classic, you know, it's like, okay, well, how did he get into Romanian wine? Well, his wife is Romanian, and her name is Elvira. So,
Of course,
of
right,
course,
right.
why not, right?
Yeah.
And they're huge. You're right. They're like, I think, the largest producer in Romania. They produce 2 million cases a year, if I read that right.
Yeah,
They
that
have,
makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have 65 different wines. They have 250 different labels. They represent about 40% of all the exports of Romanian wine. And that's not U.S. export, that's worldwide exports. And there's some fascinating things, like they actually have, I don't even, it's probably an ethnic group, but it's called the Swabians. They're the ones who work in the fields and take care of the grapes and obviously do all the trimming and obviously the care for the grapes in the off season as well. Swabians is actually an ethnic group in Romania or Hungary and Serbia. I didn't know that. It was like I stumbled on it and I'm like, what the hell is a Swabian? And sure enough, it's an ethnic group that I didn't know about. Apparently, they know their grapes. So
Yeah.
and
There
then
you go.
the last little tidbit, which I thought was kind of cool, is there's a myth or some belief that Bacchus, the wine god of Rome,
Right.
was born in the Recaș region. So
Whoa.
there you go. How about that? I
How
found up
about
some.
that?
I found
Yeah.
up some, dug up some stuff.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I mean, uh, myself, you know, it's like I said, this wine here from Rakash is it's not something I run across within even like in a weekly basis. So
Yeah,
I kind of forget about it.
yeah,
And you know, with this piece that we're doing tonight, I don't know, like I thought about it. We were, you know, going back and forth a little bit about like, oh, you know, what are we gonna, what should I present? You know, what should we spotlight for wines? And I thought it'd just be kind of, you know, kind of cool because it's not what people
sure.
think about when they think about wines, red wines. They don't think about Transylvania. You
No,
know, they may think
no.
about Vlad, you know, or Bram Stoker, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
things like
Well,
this.
I thought it was
But
kind of funny that the guy's wife is named Elvira.
yeah, no,
You know,
that's goofy. Yeah, that's kind of
Elvira,
cool.
you know, Mistress of the Dark and all
Yeah,
that.
sure.
I was like, that's got to be a joke, and I'm like, no, I guess it's her real name. But so I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's interesting.
all right. So, do you want to go with the Rulas first? Let's try the Rulas first.
Sure.
All right, let's try the Rulas. That I have no idea what to expect. I got a whiff of something when I poured it into the through the aerator. Um, it's definitely got a more of a purple look to it. Um, yeah, very interesting. Okay, let's go with the.
Hmm.
I don't want to take up my table too much here. Let's. All right, let's see what we got. Let's take a. Oh, that's got a little. Well, that's got like a cigar, like almost like a cigar box almost.
Is that right? Yeah, that's what you're
Yeah.
smelling?
Yep. Herbs, like a little spicy. There's some spice to it.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Oh, yeah, like a tobacco almost.
Yeah. Cigar box, I get that. It's faint. It's subtle.
It's subtle,
You know,
yeah. It's not in
it's
your
not
face.
overbearing.
That's right. It's got more of a black fruit. Uh, I'm not getting a red fruit. I'm getting more of a black fruit. I don't know which one. I don't know. It's subtle. It's not like black cherry. Well, maybe an edge.
Plum?
Interesting.
Plum
So,
or
folks, I'm showing you like I try to sniff when I'm going in with it on the bottom, and I try to sniff on the top. On the top is where you get more of those delicate aromas, and on the bottom is where you get the full blown fruit we're talking about.
yes.
What are you getting there, Emmanuel?
I mean, I'm almost inclined to say plum, only
Yeah.
because I mean you get some of that with the terroir, you know, like I was talking earlier about Spanish wines,
Yep.
and you do get
Yep.
some of that, but definitely dark fruit.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. And
I mean,
it's
like you said, go ahead.
so from my reading, this is an unoaked wine.
Yes.
They vinify it and then it in a steel tank, and then I think it goes in the bottle after that. So there shouldn't be any kind of vanilla, oaky, anything of that. And
Yeah, I
then
don't. Yeah.
the blend is actually interesting. You could probably add to this, but it's a 50% Tinta Roriz, which is really a Tempranillo.
Right.
30% Torriga Nacional, which is a Portuguese grape, and then 20% French Syrah.
They're right. Yeah.
And then from what I read is also they fermented them together. A lot of times
Right.
these wineries will ferment or vinify the wines in separate tanks, and then they'll do their blending and then combine the two, obviously for the final finishing. But in this case, they ferment them all together. Looks like they probably have this blend, nailed down at this point. I think they're just more or less picking the grapes that are going to go into the blend, but in certain plots. Oh, I just got a mint. I just got a mint on that smell. That smell, like a
Mint, huh?
grassy herbal mint.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I got. That's fascinating. That just came out of nowhere.
Hmm. I'm not
Yeah,
sure if
like
I'm
a
getting that, but that's good. Good.
well, like
You
a
know.
not like a peppermint or spearmint, more like a mint leaf. Like you grab the mint leaf and it's like not
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
face mint, but it's got that grassy herbal up front.
Okay.
It can almost be a sage, but it's definitely yeah,
Okay. Sage.
getting close to the sage now. Now it's evolving as we were talking about it. I don't yeah, more like a Russian sage.
Well, that's a sign of a you know, of a quality wine too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the
I'm
evolution there.
yeah, this thing is evolving. Folks, that's the best part about wine is like you smell it and then like 2 minutes later you'd smell it again. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I aerated, folks. I usually aerate wines an hour to or plus more for red wines. Given that these wines are relatively young, I think both are like a 2018. I decided just to give it like a 45-minute aeration. I figured that they would be able to handle it no problem. Wow.
No, for sure. I mean, you know, I've always been a fan of Portuguese wines, right, Pete? As you know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing is, we don't carry a lot of Portuguese wines. The section is very small,
Yeah.
so I
Exactly.
was kind of excited when this one came in. You know, so I kind of had my
Mhm.
eye on it, and yeah, let's see. We're gonna give this a whirl now. A taste.
Yeah. Let's give it a go. Here we go. Mm. Tannins on the top, big time.
Yeah, on entry.
On entry. Yeah. It's like a spicy finish almost, like a peppery.
That could be the Syrah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Syrah is known for that. So, um,
It's we might have to give. I don't know. I mean, I don't not like it, but I'm not sure how much I like it.
I'm gonna. I probably am gonna side with you on this.
Okay. Okay.
I think the tannin and the spiciness is throwing me off. I think it's a raw. I don't know. The Tempranillo is not really coming through to me, but I don't know. I think that Syrah percentage should come down a little bit, more like 10%. You know, and let the Tempranillo really come through.
Yeah. Well, the
I think,
Tempranillo is that cigar box piece though you were talking
yeah, I
about
know.
earlier in the bouquet. You get Tempranillo. It tends to have a little bit of that cigar box kind of, that will kind of come through,
Hmm.
on the wine there when you're kind of smelling the wine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what's the alcohol in this?
Yeah. Yeah. This,
Um,
I think, was this?
13 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, 13 and a half. Yeah.
13 and a half. Um, what do you think about the body? Is it kind of a medium body?
I
It's
like my,
definitely,
not to interject this piece before we go back to what you were asking.
yeah,
Um, the second sip was better for me. I don't know.
yeah. Interesting. But that spice and the tannins are there. They're not going away.
No, definitely spice, but
Yeah,
I don't think the spice is off-putting. I wouldn't say it's
yeah,
off-putting. It just
yep, that's
it's
right.
tough, I think, when you do blending of
Yeah,
grapes. Because you really need to understand what grapes kind of go well with one another, and what grapes are really going to accentuate the other grape, and kind of sort of
hmm,
be expressive, and kind of be collaborative with one another. I mean, that's
yeah.
for the vinter to kind of figure out,
Yeah,
um,
do
but
you think if they actually put their wines in barrels that it would make it would change,
maybe.
it would add some, definitely
Yeah, I
another
mean,
dimension. I think so.
um, I don't know. I don't know if it's a little uncommon. Maybe they
Yeah.
tried to experiment a little bit with this. I think it could be uncommon that they didn't, have it in oak
Hmm.
barrels. That's a little different. Um,
All right. I'm gonna move on to the other one. I want to go back to that one though.
okay. I think there's some growth here though, in the sense of it's more approachable, more it's improving. I think. I don't know.
I think it's an easy drinking wine. I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
it's something you could definitely sip as a standalone. Um,
Yes.
as for food pairing, I'm still kind of ruminating on that one a little bit. Trying to figure out what I was going to do with it. Maybe like a little pork would go well with that.
Pork.
Maybe.
What
Um,
about just a nice piece of, like, I don't know, a steak tip?
I think the steak would overwhelm the wine. Um,
Maybe. Okay.
I I think so, but maybe the
Probably.
tannins would hold up their end of the bargain
Yeah.
to keep that intensity there. But I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe if it was like I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to think of what not not like a beefy beef. Like something like
What a
well,
pork chop.
steak. Well, pork chop is the pork, but I'm thinking about
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
beef. Like what kind of beef would go well with it? That's um, maybe a strip steak would be.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Strip steak.
Yeah,
Instead.
because it has that less fat. So um, this doesn't have a lot of acid that has to overwhelm it. So
Right.
that it's an interesting pairing. I definitely have to try it. So,
What do you think about, since we're going on about this just a little bit more than we usually do at this point in the episode, but what about
yeah,
like a chicken dish, like chicken piccata? I don't know, maybe not.
God,
Yeah.
it's well. I don't know if it would like the sauce, the piccata sauce would go well with that. Um,
Okay.
I'm trying to think of oh, maybe
Yeah.
well the tomato-based sauce. I think it would go well with a
Okay.
chicken dish.
Yeah.
Chicken parm,
Chicken parm. Maybe that's what chicken parm. Yeah.
chicken parm with kind of a marinara sauce that's not too intense.
Right. Light.
Light, yeah, very light marinara sauce. I think that would go well.
Okay.
I think it would go better than Chianti would. I think Chianti, the acid just is a little off-putting in my view, but
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this might
It
work.
can be.
This might work because you have the chicken, a little bit of the fried, the batter, and then obviously the sauce, the marinara sauce. So I think that would go. Hey, look at that. We kind of surrounded that one.
Yeah, we kind of teased it out a little bit, just kind of having some dialogue about it. But
Yeah,
because once again, with poultry, you can match it up with red wines. Some people don't want to do that. I don't feel like that's acceptable. But I
yeah,
think you really got to look at that. And you got to look at the elements of what the wine has to offer.
sure. I think everyone's base obviously is chicken is white, and
Right.
steak is red, and then people don't realize there's a lot of shades of gray,
Sure.
because depending on the acidity, how much residual sugar is in the wine, there are some surprises for people where they're like, wow, that Pinot Noir went well with that chicken dish for some reason. I don't know why, but well, it's more of a delicate red versus a heavy Cabernet. Just like certain fishes don't go well. Same thing. It's like sometimes you have to experiment. May not work. It's all right. You just move on, I guess. So.
Yeah, I know, and this leads me to think about, extrapolating on this is the piece that, you did around the holidays too.
Mhm.
What was it? The lobster, the
The
dish.
lobster.
Yeah, the
Oh, the
lobster.
Thermidor. Yeah, we didn't do
Yeah,
the
that was it.
Thermidor. I got vetoed on the Thermidor options.
Oh, you did. Oh,
I
okay.
did. I did.
Okay.
I did. It was. I wanted to do it. It's definitely a heavy dish and something you need like high acidity or a Chablis to cut through that. But I got outvoted, so we never did that. So it's fine.
Oh no, yeah, I
Um,
know. Well,
Maybe
I know that
champagne
you
would
and
have
I were
gone
kind of.
well. Definitely a champagne would have gone well with that Thermidor.
Yeah, the Thermidor. Yeah, well, the Thermidor too. Champagne
Yeah,
for sure. The
yeah,
bubblies, over this past holiday.
yeah,
But I was talking to some of my people at work
yeah,
as well. That I lean on them sometimes for
yeah,
you know ideas and just knowledge. Scotch, Scotch in the sauce. A nice
yeah.
little Scotch.
Well, there you go.
Um,
Yeah,
that might bring out the features of that Thermidor. But
maybe.
Nolden was geeking
Well,
out about that. Nolden was geeking out about that with
yeah,
me when I was talking to him
I
about,
don't know. That's an interesting. We could talk hours on that.
oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know if the alcohol, because the alcohol for Scotch is really up there, and would it off put the creaminess of that Thermidor?
Yeah, I
I
mean, yeah. I mean, that might be for, we can definitely talk about that at a later time. But they seem to be. I got my other guy, Paul, that I work closely with sometimes, and he's very knowledgeable. He said the same thing. He said Scotch. Oh yeah, he said Scotch would go very well with it. Um, in
okay.
fact, he's had it before with Scotch.
Yeah.
So
All right.
um,
Well, we're gonna geek out on that because
yeah,
I'm now it's piqued my interest because I like Scotch and I'd never thought about pairing it with a creamy, heavy lobster dish.
yeah.
We've got all kinds of things going on with it. Never mind the sherry. All right. So we're gonna move on. I want to move on into my very intriguing wine that you've picked this one. This was a beauty. um, from
Yes.
Carmel, Raykosh. The name of the grape is right here. These guys are known for kind of their labeling. They focus on the consumer quite a bit. They say they're a premium winery, but really because they produce so much, it's really more of a commercial winery. I don't know. That's more of a debate for another time. But so I'm gonna go take a little swig. Let's take a little taste of this, or like a little aroma.
Very good.
Basically, the name of this grape, Fetasca Negra grape. Actually the English translation is Black Maiden. So,
Black
um,
Maiden, right?
Black Maiden. You know, if any of you are metal rock fans, you know, you definitely can pair that with some Iron Maiden. But all right, that's my
Yeah, there you go.
bad joke of the night. Okay,
Yeah,
bad joke.
yeah. That's like their arch nemesis, isn't it, or something like that?
Yeah,
That's like their
Black
rival
Maiden. Yeah,
bands.
yeah. Well, I don't know if you know this, but the white grape is called was it Spitatka Regala, and that means royal maiden. So, and what do we got here? All right, so
Yeah.
we got this wine. This has definitely got more of a ruby. Yeah, it's a little bit more purplish, I guess. This is our Romanian wine, folks, that Emmanuel was kind enough to pick out. We haven't even talked wine value because I know Jen's on, and we're going to talk wine value because it's going to
Yeah,
blow you
Jen's
away.
on.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, Jen, what's going on?
Oh, I have more earthy tones in this one. Oh my God, it's like what's that? Oh, I can't get the fruit right. It's like a brambly fruit. It's not. Was it blackberry? Maybe, I don't know. Like
Yeah. What is it?
you can almost smell the brambles, like the leaves around the leaves around this whole thing. It's definitely got some spice to it as well. Not the cigar box thing that I was on the other
No, no,
one.
not that at all.
No, no cigar box. Not potting soil. It's not gravel. It's I'm still kind of trying to. I'm gonna have to isolate these smells, but definitely some sort of bramble fruit. It's not a jam. It's no jammy smell.
No, no jamminess.
No.
Hmm.
Well, it could be like a. Well, it's not black currant because black currant's not brambles, but black currant's more of a bitter. Maybe, I don't know. What are you whiffing here? I can't. Somehow my nose is on not working today. It's a New Year's, right?
Yeah.
2021.
Right. Right. 21.
2021.
I'm having trouble. I'm really trying to understand this wine a little
Yep.
bit, but it's
I'm
it's
getting the,
not
yeah.
it's not
It's not in your face. It's
yeah,
not.
the bouquet's not really kind of, it's not, it doesn't explode in your, it doesn't, it's very, it's I don't know, it's kind of hidden to me.
It is hidden. I'm having trouble like you. I can't isolate the smell other than I know it's a fruit. It's on a bramble. Maybe blackberry. I'm still going back to the blackberry because blackberry's
Okay.
not as sweet as other ones, like not like raspberry or
Okay.
strawberry or.
I can go with you on the blackberry. I can, I'm just trying to see here on the bottle here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is
This is for Jen. Here you go, Jen. There you go. Nice little
Hey,
capsule.
yeah.
Yeah. There's not much of these labels on here. They do have an AOC designation here, which is that nice little thing here. We can geek out a little bit later.
Yeah, we can go on about that later. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jen, this is for you, so you just know this is the winery, and this is the map of Romania where this comes from. I circled the Banat wine region. So this is definitely interesting. I'm struggling with this smell.
Yeah, as I am.
Oh, it's got fruit, but then there's some earthiness to it. I'm trying to.
Well, I don't like to do this, but like I looked at the bottle, and it says dark fruits, maybe a little plum, vanilla. I don't think people should do that. I think you should kind of consume the wine a little bit and then kind of
Yeah,
mess with it, in your
well,
palate.
I
But
try. I'm like you. I'll peek at it, but for me, I want to smell it first,
right.
and then if I'm validated with that, then that's great. But if not, then sometimes they say something and you're like, there's no way there's no strawberry jam in this, or there's no, no vegetable. Oh, I know this smell now. Now it's come across to me now. It's sort of like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
oh, it's almost got like, I remember when I was a kid, I had earthworms and I would raise them, obviously, to go fishing with.
Oh yeah.
And we put, you have like a little tank, and you would put in your scraps and everything. Kind of reminds me of that earthiness smell, peat or compost, but
Yeah, but it's so I don't know. It's like I say, hidden. It's a little elusive. It's sort of because it's hints. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can see the
delicate, floral. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, like touches of it. It's not like it's far from cigar box. It's far from like a potting soil.
Yep.
As you've said.
Yeah, it's not obvious. It's just not.
No, it's not.
Maybe well, I didn't do any cocaine when in the '80s, so I definitely have a nostril left. So
that's important. That's important to take note of.
I didn't ruin my nostrils with cocaine. All right. I'm gonna go diving in because I'm baffled, but
all right, that's the only way, really.
that's easy drinking. That's just
Yeah.
easy drinking. There's no tannins aren't there. No acidity, really. Decent body too. I actually like the body on it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's I always, whenever I think of easy drinking, I always think of Beaujolais, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah. Sure.
Beaujolais is very fruity,
Right.
but it's definitely, and I think this is sort of like the Beaujolais without the fruit. It's. I mean, it's not like a Zinfandel, not so those Lodi Zinfandels that we've had, because those had a little bit more tannin, but. What do you think?
Like you say, very approachable, very drinkable.
Very drinkable.
You know what it is for me though too. I think about because I know the price point on it a little bit now. I know the price point on it, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
yep.
In the back of my mind, I have that a little bit. I think you do sometimes when you drink wine. After you've experienced different wines from different varietals, different areas, and kind of done some research. I feel like it's a simple wine. I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way, but I feel like.
Well, you and I have had some simple wines that were like $22, and we felt that they were a little lacking. There wasn't a complete picture. They weren't balanced. This one got very delicate aromas, really.
Delicate aromas for sure.
It's not heavy tannins, not heavy on the body. I think it's a medium to high body almost. I think it fills my mouth a little bit better than the Rulas did. And I feel like I can drink a lot of this.
I mean, it'd be easy to do. I just think coming as a wine drinker, just being just a wine drinker, it's a nice little wine and it's short money.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna say how much it is yet, but it's very accessible to people who just kind of like wine,
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
Monday night, Tuesday. This is a weekday wine.
yeah.
I think maybe
You know what?
it's
And with that, I don't know if I would pair that with any food. I would just sort of leave it as is.
yeah, yeah,
It doesn't need. I think in this case, a pairing might kill the wine, um, unless
yeah,
you're like snacking on crackers and cheese that like mild cheese. Like a young cheddar cheese with some crackers. I think that's. Or if you're going to eat mozzarella, or something, or burrata, I think this probably this probably would go well with it. But other than that, if you put it with something else a little bit more
hmm
intense protein, I think it would get killed. I think this thing would die.
right, right, and that's why I say simple. That's why we're on that level
That's
of
right.
simple, where it doesn't have the the bouquet, the ability, because of the nuances of the wine, to really kind of pair it well with a nice meal by
Yeah.
itself. You might
That's
drink
right.
this wine by itself before you have dinner. You have company over. You're
Yeah.
socializing, and you're just
Yeah.
just a nice little wine to have.
You're right. A little wine to open up the party a little bit and
Yeah, just to get things started.
get things started. I mean, what's the alcohol level on this? This thing I think was the same, 13 and a half.
Yeah, this
All
right.
right. So to blow Jen away, we should talk
Okay.
about wine value here.
Yeah.
Um, all right. We always talk about sub 25, sub 20. This is sub 10. So, all right. Let's. I think how much was this? This was
Yeah,
what?
they're right around the same price. I
Was
I
about
believe
five
it's
eighty,
about like
five
six
dollars
ninety
eighty cents,
nine,
six
seven
ninety nine.
dollars or so.
I think this was $5.
Yes,
It
that is
was
correct. That is like $5.
I was like amazed. I'm like, okay, $5, $5. I'm like, okay, well, at least my wine budget's a little lighter in the wallet this month. Um, but I, like you, I had to like remove the bias and said, you know what? I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to just see what I think about it. I honestly keep going back to this Romanian wine. I'm going to go back to the I can't even say this word, Rulas.
Yeah,
Um,
Rulas. Yeah,
oh, another smell.
yeah. What do you got now?
More of a more like a 409 chemical smell.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, Jen. They don't believe Jen posted there. That would never happen up here. So in BC and then over there, they don't drink wines that are $5.
I would imagine they have some. Come on, you got to have those big jug wines. I mean,
Oh yeah, I would think so.
yeah. You know what? The tannins and the tannins are there. I think the tannins make this. I, it's I think the tannins on this one are interesting. Now I'm going to go back to the Romanian one. Still a drinkable wine. I don't know. That's fascinating to me. We've had some wines where I just didn't really like it. I'm like, mm. I actually like that one. I like the. I would say for me, it's the Romanian one is going to be the winner. But I wouldn't
Okay.
pair with food.
Okay.
The Rulas, I'd probably be interested to see when I pair it tonight. I'm just doing a simple. It's Monday, right? So we're just doing a
Yeah, yeah.
simple dish. It's really going to be just leftover black-eyed peas and rice with a little pork and chicken in it. Not too
Oh, okay,
spicy.
okay.
Very mild dish. I think the Rulas probably would. I don't know. Actually, maybe both of them would go well. I'm fascinating to see what comes out of that. But
Yeah, experiment a little bit. I'm interested to know, definitely, Pete. I mean, as I
yeah,
always am. But
yeah,
so you're staying the Rakash, right? You're
yeah,
saying
yeah.
this is the blend.
The Fetasca Niagara. I think this is.
Fitascas Negra.
Yeah, I don't know if it, they didn't, there's no information on the blend, because they have so many darn wines. They have 65 different wines. So,
Right. Yeah, I noticed
um,
that too when I was researching a little bit. But
I'm going to assume it's more than 80% of this wine and this grape. This grape is only grown in Romania, so
right, right.
which is
Um,
fascinating to me. But
and I don't know. For me here this evening, I think the because like I have that attraction to Spanish wines. So in Portuguese wines have similar character. I
yeah,
kind of like that. I kind of like the rulas. I think once again, I think I've said it before when we've done an episode. This could lend itself to an overnight kind of let it breathe and have that
yeah,
following day. You
yep.
know,
I know what you're
I
talking about. Yeah. I think I get what you're talking. I think where you're going with that. I think well the thing is I think with these two wines I think they're a little bit different. I think they're different in fact that this is sort of an enjoyable everyday wine. Crack it open, $5. No one's gonna cry, pour. Um, Again, this one's as cheap as that, but I think this one's got a little bit more character in terms of the sort of the structure of the wine in the middle of the drink.
right.
But it, I think the finish is okay. The aroma keeps changing. I think that it's definitely a more complex wine.
Hmm.
Um, and if you do like your Spanish wines and you love the Tempranillo and the
Yeah.
Riojas, I think this is definitely your wine. And this other wine, really, it's more like I just sit down and just crack open a bottle with some friends and just sip away and so be it. See where the night takes you. But
Yeah, it's a pleasant wine. I mean, and then you just look at the price point. A pleasant wine for low cost. We like here. I think this might be the Transylvanian wine here. The Dracula blood.
yeah, there
Right.
you go.
I you can do really well with that because it's good
Hmm.
for a group, right? You can buy that wine and say you have when the time allows, and you have
Yeah,
like 30 people. Say you have a
yeah.
party or something.
Get
You
a
know.
get a case, and what's that going to set you back? $70.
Right, the
So
math is simple. You know what I
yeah.
mean. So
Hmm. Yep.
where I
And
mean,
it's
but
not, and
the
it's not
Rulus is not that much more expensive. But
no. But I
um,
think the ruleless would be go. I think the ruleless would require you to have some food with it.
okay,
Something.
okay,
I don't think it's I don't think it's more enjoyable as the Romanian wine just to sit and sip and drink just without itself. I think this
okay,
Ruas definitely needs food. I think there's some food component to it it would make it a little bit more. For me, it's hard to compare these two because I think they are different. But I think the
sure.
Ruas definitely needs some food. This Romanian one does not. I think it's fine by itself.
It's a
I
sipper.
think
It's a sipper
it's a
wine.
sipper. Yeah, you're right. That's a good term. It's a sipper. It's like it's definitely one you could if you chill it a little bit. Um, yeah, even if you chill this Romanian one a little bit, I think that just like Beaujolais, you chill that a little bit. I think you might find that a little bit more enjoyable. So Rulas, I don't hate the Rulas. Don't get me wrong. I actually I it's actually interesting with the tannins. I think with the food, we'll see what's going to go on with it.
No, I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. I think, yeah. I mean, I can definitely concur with that. I think the
Mhm.
open the bottle, the Romanian wine, Rakash. I mean, it's drink right out of the bottle by itself.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and the Rulas, the Portuguese wine
Hmm.
blend. Yeah, yeah. Maybe the best thing would be to accompany it with a food of some sort. A
Yeah,
dinner, meal.
I
Um,
think so. I would have loved to. I would have loved to smell. I'd have this if they just push back the Syrah a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that peppery thing is what got me. Because I like Tempranillo a lot, and I love the cigar box and all the cedar and all that. Um, I think I think it would been definitely different if it pushed back the Syrah percentage a little bit. Um,
Okay. Well, with the Tempranillo, I know that with the Spanish wines, especially, they use a lot of
mhm,
Ganache,
mhm.
Tempranillo. That's the blend you're kind of dealing with often enough.
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
that's
So,
common.
so folks who are just joined in late, just and Jen as well. The blend that we're talking about is the Rulas. The blend that they have for this is 50% Tinta Ruiz, which is obviously Tempranillo, 30% Touriga Nacional, and then 20% Syrah. So obviously, definitely a larger blend and for 3 grapes. So definitely some room for experimentation actually in that, but fascinating.
Yeah, no,
Um,
yeah. Like I said, I chose the wine, the Rulas, because I appreciate Portuguese wines, and we just don't have a lot of them.
no, no, it's mostly white. Whites are, the Vino
Vino
Verdes and all
Verde,
that.
yeah, Vino Verde, because those are easily accessible to a group,
Yeah,
a large type of wine drinker, and those are
yeah,
real popular. Those are popular, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But and never mind this Transylvania wine. That's I've literally talked to, I don't know, maybe a handful of people. All of them are Romanian that want this wine. I've never
Yeah.
talked to anybody else that, yeah, we're looking for a wine from Romania. I've never, it's always the people that it's a cultural piece. I think they're
Well,
accustomed to it.
that's interesting that you bring this up because if I think about, I have German relatives, right?
Okay.
So they'll drink certain beer because that's kind of what they grew up with,
Sure.
and then it's cheap, it's dirt cheap, but it's drinkable.
Right.
It's their everyday beer, and it's like okay. It's like, sort of the same thing with this. If you grew up with this, and it's like all right, everyday drinker, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sort of that same thing. So
I think that, yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's it's a cultural piece. I think with it's exposure with people wines that have been exposed to, so they kind of gravitate to those wines probably a little bit more in the beginning. But obviously with you and I, and with me, with my nature of work, I'm always looking for something different. I'm always looking to see what else is going on. I'm not.
yeah,
I want to go. I honestly like to go against the grain. I don't like to
yeah,
drink what everyone's drinking
yeah.
because it's boring.
Well, I
And
think you overlook a lot of stuff. I think you and I talk about this all the time, and for people that are watching, Emmanuel and I battle against bias. We battle against label bias, name
right,
bias, price bias, region bias. I think there's a lot of great wine being made all around the world these days, and again, with this easy drinker from Romania, I'm like, for $5, are you kidding me? I'll snag a case of that and have it ready to roll. And the Rulas, I'm probably gonna pair this with wine. I mean, for food. So again, another
right.
good example of wine value, right, Jen? Wine value. I know poor Jen. She's like stuck in like inflation land up there, BC. But well,
Well, that's what you get. Yeah, that's what you deserve, right? Well, you moved up to British Columbia. What do you expect over there? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
we'll ship her down. Don't worry, we'll fly her down and we'll get her into the store. How about that?
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, she
Once we
knows her
start doing
wine.
tastings again,
She
like
knows.
in-store tastings.
Yeah, she comes up with some good wines herself. She has some good stuff
Oh,
that
I'm
she comes
sure.
up with.
I've been paying attention.
Yeah, yeah, she definitely does, and I appreciate that.
Oh, definitely.
Because and just because of just the nature of what we do, and we're on social media, we're connected to a lot of wine people, and there's some folks out in the global community where they're showcasing wines that I've never even heard of, and I'm like, wow, that would be pretty cool. I'd love to get some of that. Some you can't get to unless you ship it, which is outrageous. And with the
Yeah,
tariff,
yeah. It's kind of
um,
it's difficult, it's challenging to do.
it is challenging. It is challenging. So I don't know if we're going to geek out a little bit. We have a few more minutes before we must roll. But you and I talk about punts, which is these little indentations. There's nothing remarkable at these punts. They're
No,
kind of
there's simple bottles. There's simple bottles. You know what I wanted to kind of put out to you? Because
yeah,
I think we did a good job today with the two wines,
yeah,
and they are different. That's why I kind of chose them.
yeah,
And they're
yeah,
sort of against common wine interest. You know, they're kind of one from Romania and one from a blend from Portugal. But what I was thinking, because here we are, it's January. I was thinking, why don't we kind of talk quickly about maybe one of the favorite wines that we've had since we've done all the episodes? Like, I would ask you this question. I would open it to you and say, what's been your favorite wine that we've had? You know, here we are coming into the new year, but all the ones that we've had in the past.
You're putting me on the spot.
Well, yeah, it's fun to do that.
Yeah, I know it's fun to do that. But it doesn't make it any more comfortable.
Well, I can go first if you want.
One jumps out at me was the Edmundo.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Which was the Argentinian Cabernet.
That's right.
That was fantastic. I actually bought a bunch of bottles on that one. Yeah. I did. I think that one jumped out at me. That's the one that's in front of my mind. I can't. The other ones I can't think of right now. But that's definitely the one.
Okay. Well, I think that makes a lot of sense, because as we said earlier, you and I are both here when we do our wine in three segments. We're all about wine value and quality. I mean, that wine is caught on big time. I mean, I myself, I think I forget if I had mentioned on the episode, but about 3 weeks ago, just before Christmas, I sold 4 cases myself on a Friday. And Friday typically is when we're most busiest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a very popular wine, and it's a $10 price point. It's like $8.99 when we do the mix 6. You know, at my place.
So what's your winner?
Right. So my winner, I think, which is kind of interesting, because I enjoy a lot of red wine, and Gabrielle, you know, my wife Gabrielle, she likes white wine. She prefers white wine more, and she kind of gets on my case a little bit sometimes. She's like, when are you going to bring some white wine home, you know, and that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I like the Tocalina, the one that we had from the Basque region. I kind of was digging that. I was digging that because
that
that's the only
wasn't
wine that we carry from that area of the world, and it's in that area of France and Spain. And I got really into the you know, the little research of it, and I think that wine has a lot of that's a wine that's common to their culture too.
Yeah.
They drink that year round. Remember, they drink that year round.
That's right. They do drink that year round. The Chocolina. Yeah, there's some that jump out. I'm trying to remember, like the Lodi, like some of the Lodi Reds I enjoyed. The Kim Crawford, Erica, I think was one of that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with my notes. You know, you're going to give me some fodder for our next episode. So at the end of next episode, I'm gonna have to pull out my notes and figure out, besides the Edmundo, it jumped out at me, and obviously the ones I just mentioned, there's some other ones that I want to bring up, and just sort of wrap up the year and say, all right, these are the ones I really liked. Well, we can do that. That's a good one. That's a good job.
Maybe, I don't know. We could do like top 5, each of us or something. I don't know, something like that, and just you know,
well, what we could do is we'll do top 5.
Okay.
And then we'll taste the top 2. That both of us, obviously, whatever our top 2 are. Maybe we'll do taste the top 2, and see if it's still is good, or still we like it, or still there's something
it still holds true. We'll see. Okay, those are ideas. I like that. We can go with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because and obviously the other 3 that we don't pick for our program, we're gonna drink anyway, so it doesn't matter. So.
Well, it's wine. It's wine. It's still good. It's still good. So, you know. Absolutely.
Right. All right. Well, I think it's time to wrap this up. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Really appreciate that.
Yeah,
good to
pleasure.
see you again.
All right.
Happy 2021 for everyone who has joined us, and obviously is going to see us on YouTube and Instagram as we post this. We're going to go into some more interesting programming. And to wrap up what we just talked about, we showcased a Romanian wine and a Portuguese blend, both red, both sub $10. Amazing. Talk about wine value. And that's where we're about. And Emmanuel, if you want to say anything before we head off, you're welcome to. So.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Jen. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Jen.
We try to bring a good product here forth. Yeah, no,
yep.
I think that, like, once again, that Romanian wine, definitely a sipper, and a good one at that, and you know, around $5. The Rulas is just, like I say, with the Tempranillo, maybe it's just the blend. The blend doesn't really work so well.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean
exactly.
that you should disregard Portuguese
Nope.
red wines or Portuguese blends.
Yeah. Portuguese wine is really good, actually. I enjoy it
Hmm.
too. So, all right,
Yes.
folks. Well, I will sign off. Thanks everyone for joining us. In 2 weeks, we're going to come back with our next program, and Emmanuel is going to pick out 2 more great bottles of wine for us to try. So long, everybody.
All right, guys. Good night, Pete.
Good night. Let me see.